Greetings! Welcome to my Leon guide tutorial. I'm Force of Nature representing top tier tips, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up at Dead or Alive 5. Alright, in this session, we're going to be taking a look at the strongest man in the world. Yeah, this is him right here in all his badass glory, doing everything that he does, wrecking things, just beating up fools, all just for the love of his life, Lauren, who died tragically in some Arabic desert. So yeah, that's it. So Leon's just letting out all his rage, all on the DOA cast. Yeah, so let's give you a little background on Leon. Alright, Leon's good at dealing damage, wrecking shit, and chucking fools across the stage. Your objective with him is to basically locate any sort of offensive opening and pile on the pressure to achieve as much damage as you can while minimizing any retaliatory damage. So that basically means if you get any opportunities to deal damage with Leon, just take it. But yeah, I could pretty much just show you right now pretty much why, at least one of the reasons why people play Leon. Wow, that was a lot of damage, wasn't it? Look at this, from just one simple launch, I ended up getting 195 total combo damage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least maybe one or two of the moments might have been inescapable, but for the most part, it's really hard for an opponent to get out of something like that. So, yeah. I'll basically just say two of the reasons pretty much why people play Leon. Here's one. Here's two. And pretty much I'll show you later, and this is the third one. So right there, if you, those kind of moves I showed you, for example, pretty much why people play Leon. And if you haven't really guessed it already, Leon just absolutely just wrecks shit on home. I mean, this guy is just like friggin' ridiculous on this stage, so I mean, yeah. If you just like destroying things and making people rage, this is your character. Alright, but before I go on, I just want to give you a little recommendation. Check out his command training. Check out his combo challenges. They're not necessarily particularly difficult, and his moveset isn't particularly large. I think he has about 72 or 73 moves, so it's a fairly small moveset. So just get that down, just to get familiar with what he's capable of. I'll let you know that probably the most challenging things to do with them in terms of like technique wise is just like getting down, just as like getting down, like for instance like any sort of like combo throws or something like that, like something like getting down like something like that throw right there. I ended up, the last part can be a little tricky. It's like a half circle input, so yeah, that's his four-part combo throw. One thing you could do to help out in this sort of situation is slap on the move list here. The left side to represent Leon, right side to represent Ayani, and you can put on both, but right now we only need Leon's, who's on the left side. If you do this, it ends up showing you the input. So if you see, scroll down twice to this one right here. This would be his, this would end up being his four-part throw. See right there, yeah, sometimes getting down the last part it can be because the timing for that part there can actually be surprisingly tight to get the half circle. So yeah, that's one thing you can look at. Anyways, before I go on, I just want to throw out a little disclaimer that if I end up saying anything in here, throwing out any terms or anything like that that you're unfamiliar with, or just make you feel a little puzzled or jumbled in the mind, feel free to take a look at my other guides just to be able to see if you can find any answers to any of your queries or questions. Alright, so moving along. We'll be starting off with his close range game. Alright, let's just show you what Leon's packing right now in close range. He's sporting an 11 frame jab that does 11 damage, which means if it hits a 10 damage jab, like a 10 frame jab or a 9 frame jab on the same frame, his jab will beat it out because of the 11 damage. Let's see, he has two 13 frame mids, 3P and 6K, both do 20 damage. He has a 16 frame 2P, though it does give him +1. What the +1 means is his jab will become 10 frames, his 13 frame mids become 12 frames, and if you're doing another 2P, it would become 15 frames, which is still pretty slow also, but it is what it is. Just to let you know, his 6P is 14 frames, but it does lead to the better strings. Like 6K doesn't have any sort of follow-ups or anything like that. 3P just pretty much 3P just has like a couple, I think, yeah, 3PP and 3PK. Like I said earlier, you can check this stuff with the move list. So yeah, and 3PP would be a negative guard break, and 3PK is just a, well, it's a counter hit launcher. On normal hit, it just kind of just knocks him over. Doesn't really allow for too much, but does set up some okay situations. So yeah, those are just some things to pay attention to. In close range, when you're on the offense, such as like on an opponent's guard, what I recommend is using like his P6P string. So it's like this is P6. They both end up leading to similar combo enders. Like with P6P P, you can end up holding the last hit down, and you end up getting a +14 guard break. What that +14 guard break means is that in a corner of the wall, you can get a jab for free. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have any 12 frame moves, I don't think, aside from like the while standing K. But this move has to be performed from like buffer and crouch, like similar to like what a move that's very critical to like Ein's gameplay. Leon has a move just like that, but it's not used quite as much as Ein's version. But this right here is a pretty fast launcher for Leon. So if you want to interrupt people, you can use that. Just showing what I showed with the P6P guard break. 6P P I think leads to the same thing. See right there, you can get a free jab. To mix opponents up, use 2K, which is also a guard break. I don't think it doesn't quite give you enough advantage to get a free jab. It's only about +12. You can also get it off of 6P, so what your mix-up's going to be is 6PPP and 6PP 2K. To get the guard break effect, you generally have to hold it down for Leon. For low attacks with Leon, your go-to low attacks will be 2H+K. This right here is a low guard break. I can show you some frame advantages right now. See, +12. Unfortunately, you don't get any follow-ups because he doesn't have any 10 frame moves, but with +12, which it means you can run a mix-up. Leon does have offensive holds, so you can include those also. So basically what that means is with +12, you get to push buttons and your opponent doesn't really get to push any buttons. Like the only way how the opponent gets out of like a +12 situation is by making a correct read on you to get out of the situation. You can also, for another low, apart from 2H+K, you also have 2K, which also leads to the same guard break. Normally his 2K would be unsafe, but you could really throw people off balance with this low kick. So yeah, if you haven't guessed it, Leon does happen to have good low guard breaks, which actually is not exactly a very common thing for the cast. So that is actually a really nice tool that he has for pressure and mixing up the opponent. Okay, as for, I'm gonna go over some crush moves right now. So I can just get Ione out of this corner. The go-to high crush for Leon is pretty much going to become one of his best friends. That's a 3-3P. With this move, it's a sit-down stun that can give you a guaranteed 7p. You could do 3k also, but it knocks the opponent too far away, so only use 3k if you're like in a... well, an invisible wall. Like, I think there's probably some in this stage too, but under most circumstances, 7p will be your go-to. If you do it from too far away, 7p can whiff, so if you're let's say you're crushing someone's high or like someone's like throw attempt, then you're probably going to be close enough to be able to hit, if you're generally going to be close enough to hit 7p, so you can do that and get another good stun with H plus K. Another high crush you can use is 1p. This is his Kraken low. It's a bit slow. It's like 22. It's 22 frames. I mean, if you think the opponent might step, or you just wanna your customer just throwing out 1ps, Leon's is okay. So there's your low Kraken move and high crush. 2p of course is your fastest high crushing low, but it's just a other than that, nothing really special about it. As for low crushes, Leon pretty much just has like 7p. So it's a jump and move, it's safe on block. Only -2, has good pushback. A neat thing about it is if you like knock someone over with certain knockdowns, you could cross them up with this. So yeah, so that is pretty much the only real jumping move you get to work with. So I mean, if you could find some interesting stuff to do with using that as a cross-up, then go right ahead. As for like for force tech attacks, the recommended ones would be his 9k, the soccer kick, or 2h plus k. So and either of those options are fine. I mean, yeah, if you were to charge 2h plus k, it would turn into a guard break instead, but if you suspect the opponent won't tech, then you... or won't tech roll, then just force them up. If they lie down on the ground, Leon does have... he does have ground throws. So he does have the mind game that if the opponent just lies down, then you can end up doing this to them and just and make him think twice about just lazing on the ground. All right, just be going on to Leon's mid-range game right now. All right, I'll say right now that Leon kind of sucks at range, so pretty much don't fight it at long range or anything like that. The furthest out you're going to be is about mid-range, so if you are going to be fighting at mid-range, poke with 3k. Attacks you can use for getting in are like his run-in P, which looks like just like his 4-6p. You could use 6-6 PP strings. You can also, and as a mix-up to run-in P, you can also use run-in throw, which leads to his takedown offensive hold, also known as his 3-3-T. As you see against the wall, it gets a really cool animation. So yeah, I mean, with the... I'll let you know if you do either option regularly, then they do start to become a bit telegraphed, so make sure to mix up well between those. Try and make the opponent fear each one. 4-6p is a positive guard break, so whether it gets blocked or not doesn't matter, but yeah, generally if you're at range, you want to try and see how you can kind of get in safely and effectively. All right, now just be going on to Leon's guard breaks, or his guard break game, because compared to a character that fights very similar to him, Rachel, A major difference with Leon is that Leon actually has quite a lot of guard breaks and they're quite useful, where Rachel only has one that's actually positive, where Leon has quite a bit that are positive, but a lot of them require like a small charge. Alright, I could show you some like right now. I probably have showed you some already. 4-6p. Right there. I'm gonna be mostly just focusing on ones that are like positive. Like there's some that are negative. Like if you just do 6pp, it's negative. You have to charge it to be able to get to frame advantage. Like it was plus 14. I showed that one earlier. You have it off your P6p string. So there's the same thing. Other guard breaks you have is like you have 4K. You have you can also do 2H plus K, take like a guard break into a guard break. But if you end up charging it, then you can actually just get you can get the follow-up K for free if the opponent doesn't know how to like defend against it, because the guard break gives you enough advantage to get the K. So if you could charge it enough, you can get the K on there, which actually can be a bit of a useful gimmick in corners. Well, even though I mean opponents might end up figuring out you can just kind of hold the second kick, but yeah, you could definitely throw someone off guard for overly defensive opponents by sneaking in that second kick. Other guard breaks, because Leon has quite a bit. There's 2H plus K there. This one also can be used as like a force tech. Right there. There's another move that looks similar to it. 4P plus K. You could also force tech, but it's a little slower, so it's, and also 4P plus K I don't think is unsafe also. So it does have follow-ups, and the 2 follow-ups can be charged for guard breaks. So there's some more guard breaks to work with. And I did show you his low guard breaks. 2H plus K and 2KK. Oh, I actually show you one thing that's actually really cool for Leon is his freaking critical burst is a guard break. If you just tap it, it's a normal unsafe 20 frame -8 critical burst attack. You charge it, you get a +3 guard break. Not to mention for critical burst setups, it gets really friggin' annoying trying to hold like a charged one, especially considering that Leon really makes you fear that throw. That's his Desert Falcon. So I mean like that. So I mean, anytime you like stun the opponent has to fear this move. See, I mean it does basically has a base damage of 78, but it can get environmental damage like really easily. Oh yeah, and another also thing with his critical burst. I mean, I'm pretty much going on to Leon's throw game right now. It's also a hit throw. So right there you can get a free air throw attempt. Though, I mean, just going on with Leon's throw game. Really, he has a standard like 5-frame throw. I mean, exchange of sides, 7-frame throw, and he has his 10-frame throw does good damage at 68 damage, but really, the throw you're going to be using the most with him is his 12-frame throw, the Desert Falcon, or also known as the Salty Saudi air throw. So, I mean, it looks a lot like his air throw, but does a shitload more damage. And he has, like you see, he has ground grabs also. But I showed you earlier that he has I showed you earlier that he has like combo throws, but in all honesty, I don't really like recommend them too much, because really, why do a breakable throw when you can just do this bad boy? and just chuck fools across the room. But aside from the Desert Falcon, Leon does actually have offensive holds to complement him. You might have saw them earlier. I'll just go over them right now. Here's 60, which is the 16 frame offensive hold. Gets 45 damage. Grants a knockdown, so pretty standard 16 frame offensive hold. He also has his run-in T and his 3-3 T right there. So you get a takedown. It has it ends up having follow-ups. If you can see right here, it's the same as his 3-3 T. You have two sets of options. You can go for a punch follow-up that leads into that usually leads into a throw, or what I usually recommend is just do 2T twice in a row, as you can see right there off the move listing. So yeah, I mean for the takedown, that is one thing I do like recommend practicing, is just getting that down. For his 3T, which is his crouch offensive hold. It does have a 2T follow-up, so if you can get that down, then you end up getting good damage at about 70, which is nice damage for a low offensive hold, which come out at 10 frames. But for a big part of Leon's throw game is after any sort of knockdown, or I mean launch, you can get a free air throw. Oh man, you can never get tired of doing that kind of stuff. Anyways, I'll just give you a little heads up for the air throw. Leon has the unique ability that he can throw people in multiple directions, like which you've probably seen earlier throughout this guide. I'll let you know how to do each of the directions. If you just input throw, then he'll throw the opponent forward. If you press 4T or back throw, he'll turn him around. If you press down up T, which would be a 2-8T, he'll throw him to the left. And if you do up down or 8-2T, he'll throw them to his right. So I do recommend trying to get down those forward directions. And as you probably also, as I also kind of alluded to earlier, Leon also has ground throws. So yeah, with the ground throws, just try and get down those timings. Alright, as you might have also seen, depending on if you end up grabbing the opponent at their head area or at their leg area, you'll get different follow-ups for the ground throws, so do keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm gonna be going on to Leon's hold game right now. I'll just let you know for his holds that he gets solid damage on them. He gets about 60 damage, but I'll just say right now that his holds are actually, other than the damage, I think they're kind of average. But his mid punch hold is probably the best one. Here it knocks the opponent away, has pretty good knockback, can get environmental damage too. There you can knock people into a wall or into other shit like that. So most of his other holds just keep the opponent close by. So, but yeah, but his mid punches is more standout. But 60 damage on normal hold and 90 on high counter is actually nothing to scuff at. Anyways, I'll just be going on to Leon's wall game right now. All right, I'll show you some moves first that you can use to wall slam the opponent. Right there, you can use 4-6P, 7P, which is it's a 15 frame mid punch. His head comes out pretty darn fast. You can also use 6-6K, slightly on the slower side, while standing K, And also, you can use counter hit 3K or counter hit K. Both these moves are 14 frames, so if the opponent is stunned, then you can end up using those to wall slam the opponent. Alright, so now for a wall juggle you can do after you do wall slam the opponent, I just pretty much just recommend 3PP. Leon doesn't have the most of like elaborate wall juggles or strings, so really just you get decent damage by just doing 3PP. Another thing you can keep in mind with Leon is trying to set up ground throws. Right there, what I usually end up doing is just do after a wall slam that isn't an angled wall slam, just do 6PP, then immediately do 2T. Then you can get your ground throw. Right there is an example of the leg throw, where as you saw earlier, if you mount them at the head, then you can do the ground pound, arm break, stuff like that. Alright, I'm just going to show you like just want to show you a critical burst juggle right now. Alright, this might be a little tight in here, so I'll see what I can do. Alright, yeah, I know I could have aimed for that little bench there, but I could have aimed for that bench there, but yeah, you kind of get the idea. Alright, well, for the example, actually, I'll just show you like the whole thing. After you did 3PP, 7P, H plus K, your critical burst, so which is a recommended combo, you do while standing K, 3P, then air throw. Alright, a trick to do while standing K, quickly tap 2 guard or 2H, so down guard, then press K. Right there. Even though it's listed as a 12 frame move, because you have to buffer the guard, it won't come out in 12. It won't exactly come out in 12 frames from neutral, so try and see if you can get that as fast as you can. Anyways, that's it for now. Alright, some things to practice. What I recommend is practicing Leon's air throw directions. So basically remember, no input forward, 4T backwards, 2-8T will throw to his left, and 8-2T will throw to his right for air throw directions. If you can do that, you can have a lot of fun on stages like home that have a lot of breakable shit in them. Another thing also is to also practice his combo throw timings. I find that the half circle inputs have to be input pretty smoothly and precisely in terms of the actual timing that you do it. Like if you do it too early or too late, it doesn't work as well as the other parts of combo throws. Anyways, if you have any questions about anything stated within this guide or anything DOA related, feel free to contact Force of Nature on freestepdodge.com. You can also contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And also be sure to take a look at my other character guides just to get a nice little overview of the cast. If there's a character that you would like to see, just mention it down in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to take a look at them in the future. So yeah, have fun wrecking fools with Leon. So this is Force of Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.